Oh hi, The Grinch Who Stole Christmas has now been adapted 3 different times. Last week I went into detail about the book and first 2 adaptations. I would definitely give that a watch. This week I want to discuss the newest version of The Grinch, which is now in theaters, and compare it with all the versions that came before it. What's intriguing is that this seems to borrow both from the animated TV special as well as the live action film and combine it into something different. Of course, it's still following the same template from the book. You know, the Grinch is upset over Christmas, he comes up with a devilish plan, he goes and steals all the presents and decorations, and then is confronted by the fact that perhaps Christmas is more than the consumer's trappings that he once thought. All you need to do is spend 15 Canadian dollars to sit in a theater and be told that spending money is not how you receive happiness, which then causes you to have an existential crisis and weep into your now empty extra large popcorn bag, which is how I like to spend my Thursday nights anyhow. So we get all the money shots that you'd expect, the Grinch making his suit and dressing up his faithful dog Max. We have the journey from the Grinch's home down to Whoville on the night that he steals the presents. And we have his meeting with Cindy Lou Who, where he begins to question whether he's committing grand theft for the right reason. I think all those scenes, at least initially, borrow from the holiday special in the 60s. Then we have these grandiose machines and inventions that populate the Grinch's house, which I feel is a clear reference to the live action film. This movie leans much more into the idea that the Grinch is a great designer and engineer. Where he lives is overrun with both simple and complex machines that he very obviously built himself. It also borrows how the Grinch is very much tied into the Who community. What I mean is that in the book and holiday special, I never got the sense that the Grinch came into Whoville. It felt that he had intentionally made himself separate from what they were doing and hated them from afar. Here he goes about the streets without a disguise, which is different from the live action film, but does so with as much disdain as you could imagine. Finally, there's the backstory. While the reasons for the Grinch being the way he is are fundamentally different, the core concept is the same. In the live action film, it's the bullying of other kids which causes the Grinch to feel rejected from society. In this new film, it's being raised in an orphanage and not having, quote, a normal childhood that causes him to reject Christmas. So both films decide to use child trauma to make the audience understand why it is that he has this hatred inside of him. From there, though, this film is its own thing. It introduces new characters that have never been part of the Grinch fiction. We have this overly happy neighbor played expertly by Kenan Thompson, and we have a reindeer named Fred that is used for comic effect. They've also expanded Cindy Lou Who's character. Her mission in this film is to try and help her mom. Although never explicitly said or delved into, Cindy Lou's mother is a single parent working the night shift and trying to raise 3 kids. Cindy Lou's goal is to get a face-to-face with Santa Claus so that she can help her mom, which sure isn't exactly a new plot point for a movie to follow. While she has a lot more character depth than the book or holiday special, she has only a tiny bit more than the live action film. She still falls into what we'd expect in this kind of movie. She's wise beyond her years and much more capable than what her age would predict her to be. Even though this is fairly formulaic, it still worked for me. What doesn't quite work is the build-up. Once the film gets into its second half, it becomes a lot more enjoyable. And at the risk of sounding like a broken record, this is because of runtime. Just like the live action version, they need to stretch out a 15-minute story into 80 minutes. And as much as I love to hear Angela Lansbury, you can feel the padding to this story. Some of the comedy lands, the backstory is fine, but mostly it plods along until the Grinch gets his idea to steal Christmas. However, this is where the movie truly innovates. Massive spoilers are about to happen. Even weren't. The confluence of the Grinch and Cindy Lou's storylines has never worked this well. Cindy Lou captures the Grinch dressed as Santa Claus. He tells his same lie about a broken light to get her to go back to bed. But then she mentions that what she truly wants for Christmas is for her mother to be happier. This is the kernel that changes the Grinch, not just some singing that he overhears on Mount Crumpet. Him coming back down the mountain after realizing what he's doing is wrong isn't a joyful realization of the error of his ways, but rather a dejected an embarrassed admission that what he did wasn't right. The movie ends with Cindy Lou coming to his house and inviting him to Christmas, which has a scene that I've done so many times because of my social anxiety. The Grinch is waiting outside the door and he's trying to talk himself out of even going inside. And then he pushes the doorbell and stands frozen. "I've done it," he says. "I pushed the button." I've had that sinking dread. It normally happens right as I push record on this camera. The ending feels more earned this way. The ending in the book and the other two versions has always felt a bit hollow. But with this film, I think they nailed the true spirit of the book and improved the ending at the same time. I just wish that the beginning lived up to the ending that we get. This is by no means a bad movie. It's just fairly mediocre. But it's innocuous enough that children and adults will most likely still enjoy it. This will become something that people rewatch as a family or as part of their holiday gatherings. But I doubt it will be the whole family sitting as one enraptured by the screen. Rather, it'll be something to have on in the background while you mash the potatoes. One last thing. If we ever get another adaptation, and I'm sure we will eventually, can we stop updating You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch? They made an awful version for the live action film, and I think that the one they have for this movie is almost worse. Some things just don't need to be improved, and this song is one of them. Let's do a final tally. Which version is best? This is how I'd rank them. The holiday special, the book, this new film, the live action movie. How would you rank them? Let me know down in the comments. I know that many of the fans of the Jim Carrey version let me know how wrong I was in last week's video, which is great. I'm not here to yuck anybody's yum, but all I can do is come at these adaptations with my real feelings. I hope to hear your real feelings. I'll be back again in a couple of days to discuss Robin Hood, so sharpen your arrows and get mad about taxes. We'll talk again soon. Have a great day.